All right, it is time for Friday Flicks. Intriguing horror and sci-fi movies are on area screens this weekend. Here to tell us all about Captive and Us, Captive State and Us, rather, our film critics Chuck Koplinski and Pam Powell, and of course, Charlie, the film critic, as well. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
And how are you?
We're great.
Good.
Great. You
good.
great?
I'm fine.
Cool.
You're great. Okay, Chuck's good. He's got a beard going on, so we can...
He's just lazy.
He's
Spring
still
break.
on vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, our happy vacation. So, where are we starting? Us. I've seen the trailer for this. I was talking to Pam earlier. I thought it looked a little too scary. I'm not sure.
There are moments. There are definitely moments in this movie where you kind of jump out and jolt back in your seat, and that's what people want from a horror film. But Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out, as with Get Out, there's more going on here than simple scares. There we see the family in question. We see Lupita Nyong'o as Adelaide there, and her husband, played by Winston Duke, and their two kids. They are headed on vacation. They are headed down to the beach as well eventually. And we find out that, well, Mom just isn't crazy about going to the beach. We've seen earlier in the film that as a young child, she had a traumatic experience at the beach, wandering into a fun house of sorts, and something happens in there that we are not privy to, and well, it changes her. And here we go. There, her young kid ends up doing the same thing almost, wandering around on the beach, almost ending up in a fun house of his own. Well, later that night, we've got problems back over in River City as they're getting ready to pull into bed. Well, they are visited. They are visited by a family that looks just like them. And they start to terrorize our family in question. And before you know it, they realize they have doubles. And these doubles are up to no good. I'm going to say no more at this point because I think that I don't want to surprise everyone or leave some surprises for viewers to have. The movie is very good in the sense that Peele does a great job of combining humor and horror, and that's a tricky, tricky line to walk. He kind of he makes you let your guard down by laughing, and then all of a sudden somebody's getting stabbed in the face. I mean, it's a real balancing act, and so he's playing us like a puppeteer, just playing us left and right by lulling us into these senses and then jolting us. The last half hour, though, in my mind, there are some problems because we get the explanation as to what's going on. And I wrote down in my notes, it's like a James Bond villain. Suddenly, she's explaining everything that we have seen and everything that's going on. And quite frankly, there's not enough of an explanation there for me. I still had questions. And the final shots didn't do anything to answer those questions, but they did frustrate me a little bit. This is a movie worth seeing. I mean, Jordan Peele is a good filmmaker. He's got a lot to say about our society in this film. I just don't think it comes together like Get Out did.
Interesting. Pam, what do you think?
And I agree with pretty much everything that Chuck is saying about this. I think he had a really strong start. It was super scary in the very beginning. The little girl, Madison Curry, who plays the young Adelaide, is exquisite in this role. There's a great comedy within this film as well. But as Chuck said, there are too many loose ends, and I felt like there were a lot of red herrings that were placed before me, and those ends were never tied up, and they would have been really good paths to go down. I think he was so focused on outdoing himself with Get Out, and that was a high bar that he set for himself, and very difficult, I think, to reach it. It's a good movie, absolutely a good movie. It's gory and brutal and bloody, so if you
Did you cry?
By it, no, I did not cry, and it would behoove you to read the Bible verse Jeremiah 11:11 before you go. Had I have known that, I probably would have appreciated some of the other instances that were set within this film.
Okay, so, and Charlie liked it too. He's hiding from the film.
Yeah, Charlie's scared.
If you take a look at it,
He doesn't want to see his doppelganger.
Yeah, he's hiding in the chairs right now, so this is a good moment for him. And next up, we've got Captive State. So what is this? It's sci-fi, right?
It's a sci-fi movie. It takes place in the year 2020, and this is 10 years, or 2026, excuse me. It's 10 years after an alien invasion. The extraterrestrials in the forms of large ants or cockroaches have come in and taken over the world, but they're extremely intelligent, and they have basically built up walls around every single major city, and those are their hubs. This really, it's smart in a lot of ways, but not enough to make it fun for me to watch. Chuck is going to point out the great parts of this film, and I do agree with a lot of what he says. We have the young Ashton Sanders, who plays Gabriel. He's the younger brother of one of the young men who has been killed in an insurgence. He's supposedly a terrorist fighting against the overtaking of the world, and these creatures are depleting our natural resources. This became just a very dull, repetitive film to me. I felt like it had one tone to it, and the characters were one-dimensional, and the performances were mediocre at best. I think it would have been a really good book. I think the screenplay probably was very good. I don't think that everything that is written can transfer onto the screen, and I think this is one of those cases.
It looks like you're bugging Chuck in more than one way.
You are killing me, Powell. You're just killing me.
I'm trying. I am trying.
You're succeeding.
You just keep coming back
Well,
like
if there
a zombie.
isn't any controversy, then why would we have this segment? You know, we like that you think the opposite thing sometimes. So, Chuck, you like this movie?
I love this movie.
Okay.
Love this movie. I was constantly surprised by it. It is tense, so yes, there should be a consistent tone through the movie. It's tense.
Yeah. It lulled me into sleep. I think you need a pillow
to
accompany you to this movie.
You have to have patience. You have to pay attention.
Seriously?
Yeah, patience and paying attention. I know that sometimes is hard for people.
I'm sure that describes you perfectly.
I have put up with you. So, you know, patience, you know, is something that's necessary to some things in life, including sitting through and finding good movies such as Captive State.
Wow. Okay, so that's the opposite opinion there. So, Charlie, what did you think about this one?
Charlie, sit down. Sit down.
I don't think you guys, he's not into these movies this
And
week.
I want you to tell me, Charlie, was it a bad movie? Was it a bad movie?
Oh,
it was.
you guys!
It was. Look at it. Oh, it was just awful. Awful.
It was terrible. It was awful.
And you have it 2 against 1. Dog wins every time.
Dogs do win a lot. But where can people connect with you if they'd like to learn more about these film reviews or just any movie out there right now?
You can take a look at Facebook at Real Talk with Chuck and Pam. You see our picture up there. Give us a like. Take a look at our website as well, realtalkwithchuckandpam.com. Sign up for an email from us. Give us your email address, and we will send you a monthly newsletter, and it'll get you ahead of the curve. You'll be able to know everything that's going on, VOD, streaming, Netflix, any way to see a film in the theaters as well.
Very cool. And you can see one at the Art Theater, too, which is cool. It's a cool opportunity. Anything going on there right now?
Not that I am aware of, although I do know there's a new Nancy Drew movie in town that we have been remiss in covering. Maybe we'll get to that.
Maybe you should be better at sleuthing, Chuck.
Yes,
because
I'm useless in all ways.
Well, all right. Thanks for being here, I guess. Yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Thanks.
Of course. We'll be right back.